Give me the meat and give it to me raw.
5 minutes later.
I hunted. Rob. I hunted for Tobey Maguire's dick.
Why is that coming through twice? It's so weird. Somebody got the
Flick too hard, damn it!
And then we'll go with this one. I'm just kind of scrolling through to see.
All I know is that dad can play.
All the classics.
Paging Dr.
Buckets. Oh my God, listen to that laugh.
Salon Selectives presents hair so beautiful you feel like you just stepped out of a salon.
Salon shine, Salon Selectives, Salon glow, Salon Selectives.
Introducing Salon Selectives, new from Helene Curtis. 4 salon shampoos, 4 salon conditioners. You select the combination that will give you salon beautiful hair.
Salon style.
Feel salon beautiful every day.
Salon Selectives.
The Young and the Restless. This portion sponsored by Oil of Olay.
Look, this is crazy. Man, don't y'all smoke that shit. He just ride. Look. Man, this is crazy, man. I'm telling you. Just fighting in traffic, bruh. Look. He needs somebody to spar with. I gonna spar with this. Look, this is crazy. He tired now.
Do you wanna take a life? Do you wanna cross that line? Because it's a long way back from hell.
Oh yeah. Well, hello. Welcome to the Nooner, everyone. We're ready to go, especially X-Ray Girl. Isn't that right? X-Ray Girl?
Oh yeah, I'm ready to go.
You were out late last night.
Yeah, I was. It was a crazy night. I remember half of it. I got home.
Couldn't even tell you if you asked.
This is what happens when you work too many polls.
Oh yeah, the right amount of polls.
Yeah, she got that big package of meth I sent her for Christmas bonus.
Oh,
you're not supposed to do it all at once.
There was no instructions.
I don't know how it got past Canadian customs, but it did. And there you go. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Nerdrotic Nooner, the first one of 2023. Oh, it is. First of many Nooners. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. I've got music for that. Hang on. Hold the phone.
Oh.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
I think that this played last night when I was on my wild binge.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I wanted to feed the ducks real bad.
First of many Nooners. Here come the ducks. That's right. Even ducks. It might be code for something.
What a name.
Yeah, it's StreamYard. Hey, Chris,
StreamYard exclusive.
A little further away from your mic. We can still hear you. Oh, yeah. Even the ducks.
You're listening to the smooth sounds of StreamYard.
That's right. Don't put too many emojis in the chat. You know what YouTube does to that.
They
but look at this guy. He's like, yeah, ducks.
Duck.
Duck, duck,
Give me
duck,
the
duck,
duck.
duck, 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 duck.
This is starting off smoothly, but it's been a crazy year so far, and we're all of 4 days into it.
Yeah, my
So,
goodness, man.
Jesus Christi. We've got a lot to talk about. Joker gave birth to a piece of poo that became a baby. I'm not kidding. So you got to give Eric July. Oh, by the way, Eric July went to the Sylvan barbershop today. His fade looks excellent. I just wanted to point that out. Confirmed, Eric July will be playing a Sylvan elf in Rings of Power Season 2.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Eric. You all can work out what name the original character will be in the chat. And what else do we have? Oh, Bob Iger. We got a good Bob Iger article to go over. But generally, we're going to talk about like woke Hollywood and how it's going to get worse before it gets better. And we're definitely into the worse category. Chris Gore was kind enough to send me a release list for all the big movies, not the independent movies that are coming out next year. And I had a very hard time circling anything I'm looking forward to out of, that list was hundreds long, right? It was
hundreds of movies,
hundreds of movies, hundreds. So we'll go over that. We'll go over the Bob Iger article, but I haven't talked to Chris in a few days. How you doing, buddy?
Doing great. Had a great holiday. Went to the Rose Parade.
Oh,
blocks, nice. Just blocks from my house in Pasadena. Then kind of overdid it at the bar, and it was a weird day. Yeah. No. Well, when you get to the bar at 10 a.m., you're already asking for trouble. Then I left about, when the Monday night game happened. It was weird. We got the Jeremy Renner news, and then all the news about Uche, and I didn't. I never knew Uche. Never was on a stream with him, but I know the Geeks and Gamers crew were really tight with him. So that was horribly tragic. And then what happened at the Monday night game, and I think it's still undetermined what it's no determination about exactly what happened. A lot of doctors speculating.
A lot of people speculating. We don't even know if the kid got the jab or not.
Correct. But it's weird. I was at a football game played by the LA Avengers in 2005 where a player died at the game. I'll send in the private chat. So I was at this game. I used to be a season ticket holder for the LA Avengers. LA Avengers was the arena football team in Los Angeles. There's the, Kiss even famously owns a team. John Bon Jovi owns a team for the AFL. And I loved it. It was like football in the off season. It was like NFL Blitz because it's a shorter field to play, 50 yards, a lot of scoring, really exciting. And it was cheaper to go to those games than it was to take my kids to the movies. So I was at a game in 2005 with my kids, and there was a play happened, injured player taken off the field. I'm driving home with the family, and on the radio, they say, the player that was taken off the field is dead. Had died.
Wow.
A line. Yeah. So I just put the story in the private chat, but that was, when this thing happened Monday, I was reminded of that. In this case, they didn't stop the play. They didn't make an announcement. They just took the player off the field, and that was that. And if I not listened to the radio or watched the news, I wouldn't have known about it. So very different situation with the Monday night game where they stopped. I mean, they have to replay that game. I don't know. They're going to replay it from the start. Are they going to play it from? What's that?
I don't know if they can. I don't know. I mean, they would have to push all the playoff games back. There's a certain amount of days you have to have, like, as part of the players' agreement with the league between games.
Right.
So, and you got to work it out with the networks and stuff. And I know Skip Bayless got just destroyed on Twitter for people are saying it's poorly worded. I understood what he said. I completely understood what he said. He's just saying this is an basically what he's saying is this is an impossible situation, but it's irrelevant because a young man is fighting for his life right now.
Yeah.
So I read that Skip tweet, and I thought it was people's reading comprehension.
Dude, it's so low these days.
Well, and the people going after one of the guys, Des Bryant, and it was pointed out by other sportscasters, hit a woman.
Right.
shut the fuck up, dude.
Yeah, so I read Skip's comment. It was fine. It was just like he was trying to be real and say this is really this, but like that's not important right now. I thought it just shows you people's triggered reaction to things is based on stupidity very often.
I mean, it's really annoying these days. Like you can literally say any take, and there'll be people making up their own arguments on completely irrelevant topics. Like all day long. Why do they do that? I don't understand. They read it and then they just put in whatever their brain, like what they've downloaded in their brain. And I'm talking about like across the board. I'm not talking about just the wokey lefties. I'm talking about everybody. They will just jump on whatever argument they have in their head before they look at anything. It's really frustrating.
I feel Twitter hasn't changed very much. I'd say 20%. I mean, my friend Az, F's in the chat for Az's Twitter is gone.
R.I.P.
Man.
Yeah, again. So I don't feel like it's changed very much. And all things been done.
I think someone pointed this out. I watched this other channel. I watch other channels. What can I say? I am loyal to everyone on this channel, but I do watch other channels. Odin's Men was pointing out that this generation, younger generation, seems like they're addicted to anger. It's anger addiction. They want to be angry. They go on Twitter to be angry or find something to be angry about, but they contribute nothing. So they create nothing, and they just are in this anger cycle. So it's the thing that they're angry about today. They might be angry at you, Gary, and then that pivots to something else. And it's just, it's a weird almost addiction to the dopamine that comes with being angry. Like it's a weird reprogramming of people's brains, not for the better. So I think that Twitter has actually changed for the better. It's nice to see people like James Lindsay back, or certain types of conversations or facts that you couldn't state. Now you can state them. But I do think that a lot of the same people are there sort of mucking it up, but what happened with Az? I saw one of his videos. He was talking about it.
So he
said the R word.
He said the R word when it comes to a guy who crossed the street to kick a dog. And I guess the dog bit back. Good. And he just basically called him a retard and said the guy had what it's coming. And it was called a call to violence or some bullshit like that. It's like
celebrating violence or harm or something.
I'm celebrating dog victory. That's what I would say. And karma. But yeah, like it's great that some people are back. And like I said, it's 20% better, but there's still mass flaggers. There's still the weak-minded who are our biggest opponent right now, who are just, easily, scared and take all of what they take in social media out of context. Cause like go outside. I hate to say that, but like Twitter's not the real world still. And I see this amongst our peers and our friends who do news all the time, and it gets to them, and it does get like doing politics all the time has got to get you down. Like,
tell me about it.
Yes,
it has got to get you down. That's why I don't mess with it. But there is another aspect of it. Like that's the media, and it's always been like this. It's like Bill Hicks did a great routine on this. I'm watching CNN. It's war, famine, death, and I stick my head outside and say, crickets. I can't do the cricket sound.
Right.
So I mean, like that's the whole point of it. Is like they're really ramping it up, And the truth of the matter is the world has always been this chaotic. We just know more about it now. But it's parsing through it, not getting black-pilled. And it is effing with the generation, I believe. Thankfully my kids, I am from a generation that did not have an internet when I grew up, and it was great. It was fantastic. I'd be dead if I had a cell phone and an internet when I was in the 80s. That would be a fact. It would be a lot easier to get a hold of my dealer, a lot easier to find them, and a lot easier to die. So I'm thankful for that. But with the situation with you don't want to dance on people's graves. That's I can't think of anything lower than that. Like even if it's somebody you completely disagreed with, I just find that to be dehumanizing. Not to the person who's gone, because they're gone. To the person committing the offense of dancing on people's graves. It's being done It's not much I can do about it. It's being done by accounts I follow. But like still, especially when it's somebody and somebody my friends who are my very close friends know, it's not easy to see, but that's part of life being on the internet. You got to understand that. That's the way it goes. Like Uche put himself out there. People put themselves out. Now this kid who went down in the football game didn't, like, by all accounts, sounds like a good kid, and I hope he does great. But there were people going after, like, in jest, Jeremy Renner.
Yeah, man, I don't.
And it was like more going after Disney than him. Other people are going after him. There were people like really happy that he was hurt because of a messy divorce from a couple of years ago. All Hollywood divorces are messy, by the way. I don't understand why people in Hollywood even get married. Hell, we're going to talk about Miguel Sapochnik, who like backed his wife up, but lost probably the best gig he's ever going to have. Did you hear about this, Chris?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I hope they stay married for the rest of their lives.
I hope so.
I hope this is the one, buddy, because you just effed up. But whatever. Yeah.
What?
Oh, Miguel Sapochnik wanted his wife to be a producer. No, a showrunner.
Yeah, showrunner.
House of the Dragon, and Warner Brothers is like, no. We gave her a producer credit. Yeah. So
I quit.
What did Chris Rock say? Never put the pussy on a pedestal. I think he said something like that.
Right.
But yeah,
realistic.
Let's be realistic about it. It's like, I want my wife to be showrunner, and Ryan Condell's probably going, what?
Yeah, it's like, come on.
Say what? So that's why he's not there anymore. But yeah, it's been a crazy 4 days, and a lot of people have a lot of opinions. Like, that's great. I don't want anybody silenced. I don't. That's not what you can retort all you want, but yeah, the Skip thing was a little ridiculous, I thought.
Yeah,
I thought that was just a bunch of people piling on because they don't like Skip because he's super opinionated about I've been listening to Skip for years when he used to just be a contributor on the Jim Rome show back in the early 90s, the radio show before he even got the ESPN internet. He was a columnist for whatever the San Jose Mercury, and he's always been like this. That's the way he's always been. He's always been like really outspoken, and he would, like, when most sports commentators were really vanilla like they are now, like there was a time in the 90s when like covering sports was super edgy and people would call like athletes out. It's kind of like what we're doing in pop culture now, but it was happening in the 90s, but then it got all homogenized and corporate. People like Jim Rome used to call them out, even, people like Howard Stern used to call out celebrities back in the day.
Yeah.
And
it seems to be the pattern is like, you'll have a new field like that, or like MTV or the internet. And it's this vastly like freedom platform for anybody to say anything. And then you have these massive entities come in and start taking that and homogenizing it and then making it this just bland, unentertaining content. And then people move to the next thing and the next thing. It's really interesting watching that kind of unfold over time.
It really is. There is no danger of me, unless somebody comes at me with 110 million. Now I've started.
Hey, I understand that.
I'd start out and then I'd fuck it up. I got too much of a big mouth. The Marvel shirts are done now, by the way, X-Ray Girl.
Ooh.
Make Marvel mail.
Yes,
again.
they are.
Oh, that's so good. So they can start going out soon. Hey, Chris, thanks for doing that, by the way.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Chris Gore.
Do anything.
Great idea.
No, you like that was your saying.
It's a great idea.
Great idea.
We raised a lot of money. It's gone
Good.
to the families. So yeah, I'm very happy with how it turned out. Thank you.
I bought T-shirts. I can't wait.
There will be as with all charity things I do, there will be transparency. We just got to wait a little while for one particular family that's affected that doesn't really want it public right now. So that's totally understandable. But I promise you, we will be very transparent about it.
I've got receipts.
Yep. None of us took a penny. So, and won't. Where is that article? I sent it to Chris. There it is. Guess we can start out. What the hell is this even? What the hell is? Oh, I don't want to.
Oh, it's that. That's how I got around the.
Oh yeah.
Paywall.
Well done. That's why you make the big bucks, quarterback.
Did it. I'm a pro.
Give you a 2-cent raise.
Oh, thanks, bro.
You're welcome, man. I know. Best boss ever. Best boss ever. Here we go. God dang. I got to stop hitting. That's going to be very bad. I'm like, I don't have a lot of room on my desk right now.
No.
So I have this little side button on my mouse that will click open our messages or something like that. I got to be careful.
Instantly shows DMs.
Yep.
That's a weird button to have.
It's a gaming mouse. It came with my. So it's.
I got one of those too, and I have like 15 buttons. I don't know what to do.
I don't need all those buttons. I don't.
I only need 3. Well, a scrolly wheel, so 2.
But that's not a button.
That's a button,
wheel.
kind
I
of.
know.
You can press it. Does it have a press?
Can you press
It does.
Okay.
It does.
Okay. So, well, first, hi Garrett. How's it going?
Hey, what's up? It's going great. Good to be here.
It's good to have you back.
Oh man, it's so good to be done.
Is the move done or?
Well, we have a garage full of boxes, but most of it is done.
Yeah,
we're out of the whole old house and on with our life.
That's good. I'm glad because that sucked.
It did. It did. But hey, it's all over.
Well, that's good. I'm about to call you down here because we're about to redo the lighting.
Let's do it.
Almost done with that. I got to just
let's
pull the table in here and we're finished. I've got all the figures on all the walls. It is done. It is now 360 degrees crazy in here, and I can't wait to show everybody.
And dude, it's the anniversary of me working with you, man. It's been a whole year.
Oh my God, has it been a year?
It's been a whole year.
That's amazing.
A year and 3 days.
Oh, that voice.
It's been a fantastic time.
I can't change my voice.
X-Ray Girl should go to the club more often. That is, I mean, I know it was a wild night, but
people
the voice is worth it. It's worth it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'll
be with you 3 streaming tomorrow. If Az is okay. If Az is not okay, we'll put it off to next week, which it's looking that way. Az is pretty sick right now.
Oh, did he get worse?
Did he lose his voice?
Man.
No, he's just
Dude, everybody getting sick. What's up?
Well, I'll probably just call it because I think he needs the rest. We can wait till next week. All right. So, and hello, X-Ray Girl. Thanks for being here. If you get too sick, just go. It's fine.
Hello. No, I'm good. I'm good. I can handle it as long as I'm not on camera. I look really crappy right now, hangover and all.
Yeah.
Crappy.
What you get, you went too hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just a party girl.
That pent up 2 years, okay? I couldn't party. I couldn't even party in Vegas the last time because I got sick then too.
That's true. That is true.
Oh,
Keep getting sick.
I can announce that we will be announcing Vegas dates sooner than later.
Yeah.
I think we've decided when we're going to go. So I just got to make sure it's okay with everybody else. But it will be earlier in the year. So it will not be August. It will not be August. It will be much earlier in the year.
What a relief.
I know, right? And it'll
hot.
be around another event that I probably won't even go to, but I mean, there's an event there.
Oh, we're going because I think you can get tickets. So
Well, you can. I want to see if we can get press because I want to be press.
Oh yeah.
Good idea.
It'll just piss off because
We got to hold it over everybody.
Yep. It's like, well, if San Diego Comic-Con thinks we're press,
that's true. And New York City. I got press at New York City Comic-Con too.
Yeah,
somehow. I don't know how they let us in there.
We're not going to New York though, because that's going to be when we're in the UK.
Oh, dude, yeah. That would suck.
Got a couple other announcements too. We're going to
a few other things.
Yeah, we're going to Contact in the Desert is back. Very happy about that.
Yeah.
It's like the Coachella of UFO and ancient civilization. So that's in Indian Wells and Palm Springs, one of my favorite places in the world. So there's that. There's a couple other things.
It's gonna be a great year, man. I cannot wait It's gonna be great. Last year was really great. I know everybody wants to be all down on it, and oh, the world sucks and everything. It does sometimes, but overall, it's been pretty great.
Had a lot of laughs last year.
Oh, yeah.
There was a lot to laugh at. And wait, Disney, it might be the greatest source of unintentional entertainment this year. Again. This is Variety. So this isn't, like I like Bounding, but Bounding's like very honest and critical about Disney. Variety, well, let's see how they spin this. All right. Iger's big Disney reorg aims to fix problems he helped sow. Hearing that alone is incredible.
Like, imagine that headline 3 years ago.
You wouldn't get it.
You would never hear that.
By the way, what that headline says is, hey, fans, you were right all along.
You were correct.
You were correct. So they'll probably go, but he's probably still the best guy. We'll find out.
Yep.
Not even a full day after his surprise return to Disney, Bob Iger made his first move to reshape the House of Mouse to undo the tenure of his successor/predecessor, Bob Chapek. In a memo to employees last week, Iger announced that he would reorganize the corporate structure Chapek implemented in 2020, which consolidated all content budget and release strategy under the Disney Media and Entertainment Distribution Unit, DMED, or as I like to call it, DOA, headed by Chapek Lieutenant Kareem Daniel. The new restructuring seems designed to reassure Wall Street, not the paying customer, Wall Street, that Disney's management of streaming will change. Chapek's creation of DOA was seen as a move to accelerate. Oh, I hope they accelerate. I want some acceleration. Please. I want 5 Marvels. I want an A-Force. I want season 2 of She-Hulk. I want it all. Streamline the company's direct-to-consumer strategy. I wonder when they're going to figure out that the word consumer is utterly insulting. Don't accept it.
I don't think they will.
I mean, some exist. Let's be real. But I don't mean it as a compliment. Strategy by placing responsibility for all streaming content under a single unit. He said unit. Investors certainly saw it that way. As a result, DOA also shouldered responsibility for Disney's massive losses on streaming, which more than doubled year over year, the $630 million to nearly $1.5 million in most recent. So you see this whole framed. Now, I don't know. They might be ready to call them out here. But Bob Iger came in and essentially blamed every single problem on Chapek's one single move to distribute budgeting under a couple of umbrellas. And in other words, if Kevin Feige wanted to, sign off on a budget or wanted a budget signed off on, Bob Chapek and this group would have to sign off on it, basically. Well,
just consolidating power.
Did they sign off on the, what was it, $250 million budget for Thor? Wasn't that 250? 250?
250.
250.
250.
So are people thinking that Bob's going to sign off on a $300 million budget for these? He might. I don't know. I don't know. But a lot of these projects were set up by Bob Iger, including Thor: Love and Thunder. Yeah. So Disney direct-to-consumer segment operating income, boring, don't care. Now, as the street shifts away from all-in on streaming mentality that dominated the last few years, Iger seems poised, the one he set up, by the way, Iger seems poised to give responsibility back to Disney's separate content units, which could help convince investors that the Mouse House plans to keep its approach diversified. The reinstated CEO plans to implement a new structure that puts more decision-making back in the hands of our creative teams and rationalizes costs. Creative teams always want more money.
Yeah, that's not the best strategy.
No, this is also a way of Bob Iger passing the buck to them.
Yeah, you go, oh, if that was a failure, that was because they failed.
He wrote a memo adding, This is a time of enormous change and challenges in our industry, and our work will also focus on creating a more efficient and cost-effective structure. So are you going to still lay people off? Because I think you're going to need to do that. The last part will be key to Iger's success in his second go-around at the company. It's clear that Disney board is hoping to reinstate CEO. The reinstated CEO can fix Disney's streaming strategy, which has amassed a subscriber base to rival Netflix, but racked up huge losses at the same time. Possibly because a lot of those subscribers aren't actual paying subscribers.
No.
With Wall Street, go on. Somebody gets
Did you see that I sent you a video a few days ago about the new streaming, kind of how everything's laying out and assessing the 2022 streaming wars, basically. And they show it the subscriber counts for each streaming service, and Disney reported, like, I'm trying to think, 500,000 more than Amazon. I think Amazon's number one, right?
Not Netflix.
Or Netflix still is. Netflix still is number one. But then they found that whenever they actually break down the numbers that Disney provided, they were including Disney Plus, ESPN, and they included all of the separate one, all the separate, and Hulu, I think, separate streaming services into one in order to look like, oh, we're on top, we're making so much money, but really they were just stacking the deck for themselves.
Yeah, that's like me counting Nerdrotic Daily and Nerdrotic Live
all in one.
Yeah, there's a lot of crossover in there. There's a lot of crossover. I'd say most, half, at least. So it's not. It's still an accomplishment, I guess, but like it's not. You're not being honest. Okay, that's like, you got to be real. Right. And when a company has to resort to rationalization, dishonesty, which many of these companies have been doing for years, you're not successful. You're playing with a house of cards. And it took us to bail Hollywood out. Remember, we bailed Hollywood out by bailing out the theaters. And it disgusted me while they were working when my wife couldn't, many other people couldn't. Restaurants were being shut down. The worst offense of all was that woman who did a video where her restaurant was shut down, but Hollywood put on a catering event in her fucking parking lot. It was disgusting.
I've been to that bar. It's the Pineapple Hill Saloon.
Yep.
And it's in North Hollywood area. That broke my freaking heart. I'm so glad that her video went viral. But yeah, I've been there. Been there a couple times since. So I'm glad to see she was able to stay in business. But she built this whole outdoor area to accommodate all these rules, right, and stay in business. I mean, that's what's disgusting about the last couple of years is how much small businesses have been affected. That's why it's like, look, in all your spending, you go out to restaurants, bars, whatever. I like to go to places where I know the person I'm giving the money to. Like I know when on, the day of the Rose Parade in the Rose Bowl, I'm at the 35er. I know I'm giving Donnie behind the bar. I'm giving him my money. I'm getting some chicken wings, getting some beer. I'm hanging out. And, in all your spending, screw the chain restaurants. As much as Cheesecake Factory makes delicious cheesecake. I'm saying solicit businesses where the person you're giving your money to. That's why Gary, Comic Outpost, right? Small bit. I know I'm buying comic books from your store and giving you the money. So just avoid giving your money to big corporations, I guess, is my Gen X get off my lawn speech right now.
Yep. I like that. So. we try as, but like here in Texas, there's something we found that hasn't existed in California. And it's a rare case. It's like a small mom and pop hardware store. Like there aren't tons of those in California.
They're still here every once in a while. You find little mom and pop stores.
We found one, and that's where we go.
Wow.
And that's we got Gino's near us, this little deli. It's the 7th best restaurant in Texas, by the way. It says it on the sign. It's fucking good. It's good. It's just like a little deli.
Oh yeah, I tried Gino's when I was there.
Gino's is shit. So yeah, that's where we go. Disney's streaming strategy, which has amassed a subscriber base rival Netflix, has racked up losses at the same time. With Wall Street having turned on streaming and its sky-high expenses, Iger's first task will be to bring costs down as quickly as possible. Well, how do you do that? Well, you fire people. Disney stock. I'm just going to look at that because that's pretty.
Look at that.
Look at that. Consequence culture, right, Disney? There's your consequence culture. You know when things really started? Other people pointed this out, and I'm not. This isn't mine. But when they fired Gina Carano, like shit has gone downhill consistently since they fired Gina Carano.
Maybe it's some bad karma. They're just collecting bad karma. That's what it is.
It wasn't the only thing. I'm just saying that was the first shot fired, real shot fired, because like they were on a redemption arc. Well, like it or not, like I don't think The Mandalorian was good or anything, but they were on a redemption arc. They had a moment where they had some of the fandom coming back, and they could have really built on that, and they immediately fucked it up. And then it was just then getting involved in politics and putting out so much shit, and the MCU just spamming content, and here we are, and a bunch of people. Oh, by the way, preceding that, Hollywood, all of Hollywood was telling half the country to go F themselves. So this is where you're at now, because there's less discretionary luxury income. You know what luxury income is for? I want to say this directly to Jar Jar Abrams, because I know he watches every one of my live streams. That's called comfort. It's called little creature comforts that people work very hard, of all races, make shapes and sizes, by the way, and they like to enjoy a movie for escapism and stuff. So when you call out for a certain race not to have comfort anymore, it's racist, by the way. And you know what? They're going to tend to remember that. And getting up you got caught up in the trend that was BLM. That's what it was. A trend, a Hollywood fucking trend. That happened to burn down a bunch of our fucking cities. We're not going to forget that shit. This isn't like any other time where you've called out or made Republicans bad in a fucking movie or something like that. No, our country was burning, and you fanned the flames, you dumb motherfuckers. And now you're paying for it. I hope y'all fucking go broke. Anybody who thought like that, you deserve it. You get what you have coming to you.
You know what's sad, though, is that J.J. Abrams, he's not going to go broke. You know what's going broke is all of the people on the lowest levels of the business. So Disney makes all of these horrible decisions. They spit in the face of the fans. They destroy all these franchises. They put out a bunch of garbage. And the people at the top that made the decision, he's a fucking CEO again. And he's going to lay off a ton of workers at the bottom level that had nothing to do with any of these decisions.
Yep. Oh, but this is going to completely off his legacy, because Disney is going down.
Good riddance.
Like this, they are not turning this ship around. And for Jay, you're right. Jar Jar's got his money. He's got his money. He's fine. But what he wanted to be the king of Hollywood. He wanted to be Spielberg, and that ship has fucking sailed. Gone. So we did get him. So we got him where it really hurts. The fucking ego. That's
his
where
reputation.
His reputation is shit now, and that is good enough for me. Sure, he's going back to his $7 million mansion that he's going to have for the rest of his life, but his little aspirations are fucking gone. Good.
Hey, he's still making that Ta-Nehisi Coates Superman.
Oh, God, I hope so.
Still on the board.
I fucking hope so. As a content creator. Oh, yeah. Baby.
Do it. I dare you.
Bring it. Accelerate. There's obviously plenty of reason for the board to have confidence in Iger, who deserves credit for building Disney into the media colossus it is today. But at the same time, the turbulence of Chapek's tenure and the problems caused by his restructuring have helped cloud the fact that the problems began under Iger. Took you long enough to get there, but you got there. Chapek's org structure was unpopular amongst Disney employees and with Iger himself. Many creative executives reportedly resented having decision-making power taken from them, and insiders groused that the hierarchy slowed Disney's content pipeline. Slowed it? Slowed it?
No.
Do you mean there was more? You know what that pipeline? It's a sewage pipeline. It's a sewage pipeline. Complicated the greenlighting process and created widespread confusion. Well, I mean, there was confusion there, but Iger was working under the Trump economy where people were swimming in investor cash, massive amounts of, tons of investors, blanking on the other term for them, but there was a lot of money on the hopes that streaming was the future. So they were swimming in it, and they've been working on it for years. By the way, the streaming model, I know Disney was working on Disney Plus as far back as 2014, probably much earlier than that. But they were working towards it because even when I was at Technicolor in 2011, they were talking about set-top boxes, which was the precursor to the streaming service, right? So they had a lot of money. It was a good economy, and it's not anymore. And it's because of the guy that they wanted in office. I mean, that's just an objective truth. You shut down the country for that long, portions of it for multiple years, and print a bunch of money. What did you think was going to happen? You think it was going to stay the same? Our money's worthless now because we made more of it. I've been kicked out of 3 high schools, and I know that. In hindsight, aspects of Chapek's strategy were certainly misguided, but it's worth remembering that Chapek was trying to repair dysfunction caused by another reorganization implemented by Iger before the launch of Disney Plus. Chris, you were going to say something?
No, I was just reacting.
I thought I heard something. Sorry. I'm looking at the article. Thank you for that insight, Chris. Late in his tenure in 2018, the once and future CEO introduced a new corporate structure that created Disney's first direct-to-consumer division. The reorg reportedly led to power struggles between Kevin Mayer, who headed the DTC unit, and then Disney TV studio head Peter Rice, who who had authority to greenlight shows for Disney's streaming unit. Chapek's subsequent restructuring was partly intended to correct those problems, according to multiple reports, in the wake of the 2020 reorg. So this is their second reorg in 3 years. That's not a healthy company. But we knew that because they fired their
I was going to say extremely successful. That's
was
my read on it. Yeah.
I'm sure. Companies reorg all the time. Furthermore, while Chapek also made mistakes with regard to streaming, no one forced him to revise Iger's modest subscriber projections for Disney Plus to such high levels, which are now looking even more unrealistic. He was, to a large extent, following a playbook set by Iger. It was Iger who engineered Disney's streaming strategy in the first place and made no secret of the fact that it would lead to billions of dollars in losses, which is true. I made videos on. They estimated they would lose $5 billion, I think was the number. And but that was over a course of many years. They've already lost essentially that in a couple. Whoops. And so go on.
I said, whoops.
Whoopsie doopsie. And though the media industry arguably should have foreseen that Netflix's constant growth model for streaming was unsustainable. Wait a minute. Oh, my head's starting to hurt now. I think there's somebody out there who said that the binge model is unsustainable. I think I've been saying it. No, I just spoiled it. For 6 years on this channel. I said that, for one, what nobody brings up, that Netflix was in the fucking red forever.
Yeah.
Up until recently. They weren't making money. And then they started making some money. And that market correction could come at a point. Chapek doesn't deserve sole blame for the industry-wide error. The fact is, no one has yet figured out how to organize Disney's streaming operations and position the company for the future, including the fact that they don't own all of Hulu.
Oh yeah, that's supposed to be that was something else in that video. This year, I believe they're going to decide who takes it.
Okay, yeah, I think what, Melissa was watching that video, so I caught some of it. Yes, so 30% of it's Comcast. I forgot who the other 30% of it is, and Disney's got 30. Or it's Fox.
Well, it used to be, yeah. It was Disney, Fox, and Comcast, right? And then Disney obviously bought Fox, and now they're going to decide who takes the other half of it. And he was speculating in the video, either one will probably destroy Hulu. They'll absorb it in either, in their Disney Plus, or I think, was it Paramount Plus, or is it Paramount? Yeah.
Yeah.
So they'll absorb it and destroy it.
Yeah, I mean, putting everything under one banner, it would have been smart a long time ago, but they didn't. And now they're finding out that licensing wasn't so bad. It was actually really good.
Yeah.
Physical media, not so bad. It was actually really good. Made them a lot of money. But this is unavoidable. Like, this is like AI art. This is a future that's coming at you that was unavoidable. So they had to do streaming. I understand that. I do. But it was going to end the same way it did for the music industry, for the publishing industry. It'll end the same way. It devalues your content. It makes it disposable. And once it starts becoming disposable, then the content, then your effort into the content starts becoming disposable. This is why we get top 10 songs in the country or 10 Taylor Swift manufactured pop songs that are written by algorithm. Like, it's just not, it's not lasting. It's something that it's junk food. It's absolute junk food.
Sorry, Gary. No,
go on.
No, I actually had a comment to add to what you were saying. Is you're right about it. There's a weird sameness, sort of meh, of so much streaming content. In particular, Disney. None of those Marvel Disney Plus shows, I think, have much value. I think WandaVision had the most potential. Kind of, it started off good and then, fizzled out. But none of them have a, there's just something kind of soulless about it. I put out a tweet last week about that. People are posting a lot of photos of the AI art of themselves, and it's fine, but it lacks the humanity. It's like that scene in the Jeff Goldblum, David Cronenberg's The Fly, where Jeff Goldblum sends steak. He sends a steak through the little teleporter. Then he feeds the steak to Gina Davis, and she's like, tastes something about it doesn't feel right. That's what all this entertainment is. It's written by algorithm. It's God. Somebody even, like, one of the viewers on our Film Thread YouTube channel sent me a thing where he asked the Chat GTP to like write a James Bond script, and basically gave an outline for a James Bond movie script. It's you're reading it going, oh, this is like every James Bond movie. This is how odd the AI is. It recognizes what the trends are. It's just bizarre, and that's why so much of this just feels so false without any sort of personal vision, right? Sort of like, I mean, that's what's sort of beautiful about, human-made art, is the imperfections, right? The mistakes that turn into happy accidents. So, sorry, I didn't mean to get too heady there. That's
why you're here. We want to hear this. That's why you're here. Get heady.
You can,
you want.
You can hear my voice. My voice, I might have gone to some of the same bars that X-Ray Girl did. You can tell I'm not 100%.
Did we party together? I don't remember.
I don't even remember. There was so much happening. It was crazy. Anyways, I'm sorry, Gary.
Don't be sorry. No. This is you got the know. You got the knowledge.
Those are just my personal thoughts. So there you go.
Oh, I agree. There's a article. Paul Joseph Watson, like him or hate him, did a video on this many years ago. It was an Atlantic article that broke down like pop music, basically like what the state of pop, and it hasn't changed. So, in 6-7 years, it hasn't changed. And it was basically 4 producers a couple of them were from like European metal bands, and they figured out an algorithm, like a song hook, right? Like a song used to have like 1 or 2 hooks. They're like, let's put 7 in, and, I'm sure somebody in the chat has read the article and they know what I'm talking about. I've gone over it in streams before, but it really does describe, it's describing pop music, but it's describing what corporatism does, because art is risky and Wall Street doesn't like risk. Wall Street really loved that streaming offered something or Hollywood had something to offer that they didn't have to offer before, and that's guaranteed money. It's guaranteed money, which is not so guaranteed, by the way. So that's why everybody went in all in. That's why they got all the investors, because they're like, wow, we got a trusted cash flow from Hollywood now, which is just, you know, hit or miss. But that's art. That's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be hit or miss, and you can't commoditize art. I believe the comic book industry was a perfect example. When I got into it, it was already dying. In 2003, it was already dying. It was a dying industry that was reliant on specialty stores. And for a while, that actually worked. It was a good way to save it, because otherwise it would have completely died. But then you were just kicking the can down the road, and they decided not to innovate. So they got together, they saved the industry, but it wasn't really growing, right? And then they put that off. And then a few comic shops, varying degrees of success, became very powerful voices in the industry and kept it from growing, created organizations to keep it from growing, because ultimately those individual guys who were trying to create a collective were true capitalists. They were looking out for their own shop. They didn't give a fuck about anybody else's shop, which I was fine with once I figured it out. But that's how they kept it from growing. So it was the publishers, it was the distributors, and it was a few comic shop owners that kept the comic industry from growing. And then, you know, publishers started, hey, variant covers work. Let's just fucking spam the shit out of variant covers and a bunch of gimmicks. And I'm like, dude, this whole industry, same goes with Hollywood, same goes with music, was based on stories, well-told stories. And now you're slapping them with covers, and you're making them just things. You're making them baseball cards, basically. Yeah. These are books. These are stories. They're not fucking little speculator collectible things. And that's what the industry turned into. And now it's just, it's dead, and it doesn't know it yet. Believe me, we'll talk about pregnant fucking Joker.
I think if they were real capitalists, though, they would have saw, like, the best way to go forward and to grow the industry is to make good content that people want to see.
For example, Brian Hibbs is a capitalist in denial. Like, grew up in San Francisco, true blue San Franciscan. Don't think the man knows how to drive. Pretty sure he doesn't know how to drive.
Oh, man.
And wants to, like, when he passes on his store, he wants it to be a collective.
Oh, like, cringe.
Sell it to the employees, which it'll fucking be dead in a year.
Yeah, that's not going anywhere.
Be dead in a year. But you know, but then he complains when the minimum wage goes up in San Francisco. He starts bitching and moaning. It's like, motherfucker, these are the people you voted in the office. This is what you wanted. You $15 an hour. He's like, I can't afford $15 an hour.
Oh, really?
Really? Well, you know, sell back issues then. That's what I did. You know, but the neither here nor there now. But that's a lot of what happened, and that's the same thing that happens in Hollywood. It's a few people controlling everything, so they're fine. They don't give a fuck what happens to everything else, and it will eventually fall apart. It will, because if you're not growing, and if you have to lie, and that's what marketing. People go, well, the marketing is lying. I'm all, yeah, but that's not healthy. Just because we know it's lying, it's not healthy. Now Hollywood is forced to tell the truth in trailers. I mean, how were they able to get away with it for so long? You know, to lie to people in trailers. So yeah, they're resorting to gimmickry, lying. That means they're failing, and they're also massively in debt. No easy task, to be sure, but the board's decision to bring back Iger can't help but look a bit desperate. Like an implicit admission that no one really knows how to navigate the current media landscape.
Variety's just haters, all right? They're haters.
Variety is gone full white supremacy.
Yep.
Yeah. Iger will now get a second crack, or smoke some, at it, but the fact that his first attempt helped lead the company here should not be ignored. If the board's confidence in him is not misplaced exactly, it at least should be tempered with a healthy dose of skepticism. Wow, has the tune changed?
Man.
Again, this is Variety. This is Tyler White supremacist.
I'm gonna say it again. Like, this article would never be written 2 years ago. Disney was like the golden child of Hollywood. Everybody was like, it's not gonna fail. It's Disney. Why do you guys hating so much? You're just whining. You're never gonna make a change. Nothing's ever gonna happen.
Oh
God, it's sweet. It is very sweet. Victory tastes good.
It is, and it's really tough for the Disney shills who went out so hard and pushed the narrative that any form of criticism was Russian bots. Let's not forget Russian bots was blamed.
Yeah.
Steve Bannon controlling YouTubers, review bombing with bots when we know it was we know it was the companies doing it.
Yeah,
positively. And it's y'all got caught. You could put up a ruse for only so long, right? So good afternoon. I see the chat saying good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's a nooner. It's a nooner. Okay. I'm gonna read some soups. And then we're going to get the pregnant Joker because I know that's what you're all waiting for. But Chris, that LA trip was way more important than I thought it would be. It was tons of fun. Don't get me wrong. I had a really good time. Chris and I were like total bros. My wife called me.
Wait, what kind of bros?
Because I was in a hotel room. That's not a good way to start it. So,
and Chris visited, right?
Well,
I did once.
I own dinner. So we went out to dinner every night. My wife's like, we haven't gone out to dinner 3 times this year. No, sorry. I have since fixed that, by the way.
But honey, it's Chris Gore.
That has been corrected. And will continue to be corrected till I die. But yeah, we had a good time. We saw Empire Strips Back, but we also went to the con and we had that panel, which was great. But we also talked to other people, talked to some of your friends.
Mm-hmm.
And it was good for me to see that with some creators, I mean, it's a very small sample size, but with some creators, like this conversation was being had, like woke Hollywood being a problem was an actual conversation, which wouldn't be even a year ago. So it took massive failures. It didn't take like morally, maybe we're doing something wrong dividing the country. No, it was them losing a lot of fucking money. But we knew that was how things were going to change because eventually you have to make money. And the question I think all of us get the most is how do they keep doing this? How, like, explain it. It makes no sense. How does something like Witcher Blood Origin happen? How does it happen? How does Rings of Power happen?
Yep.
And well, now we know, like, they were really high on their own farts, ESG. And they thought they could dispose of half of their audience, which you can't. Half of their audience that subsidized them, by the way, with bailouts. So here we are, and I don't know if they come back. Like no institution is immortal, except for maybe gold. But not in entertainment. No institution. Go back over time. Boxing used to be the biggest sport in this country by far. Like
baseball
used to be the biggest sport in this country, eclipsed everything.
Drive-ins, drive-in movie theaters in the 60s, there were like 6,000 screens. Now there's less than 300. It's like a pastime that is gone, doesn't exist. So there you go.
Yeah, and Avatar's doing well. I'm not going to deny that, but the things I do for family. I went and saw it again with my brother-in-law.
Oh, wasn't it fun? You see it in 3D?
No, I was checking my phone a lot. I'm glad I wasn't at the Alamo Draft House. It kicked me out. I was looking at Twitter about an hour in. He liked it. He thought it was fine. He's a normie. Yeah, it was just as long and just as mid as I thought it was. But I was in an empty fucking theater.
Oh,
and
really?
It was New Year's Day. but so I think it's like doing well, you know, in like heavily urbanized regions. I think that would be my only explanation. Or San Antonio doesn't give a fuck, which I'm fine with. But like, yeah, I'm not going to say San Antonio reflects the world we live in today.
Well, like New Year's Day, a theater being empty, that's insane to me. I said it before. I've worked at movie theaters. That was my career for a good 10 years. New Year's Day is one of the most busiest days, like along with Christmas Day, like the busiest days. That's insane to have an empty theater.
Well, and like
anywhere, it doesn't matter where in the country, like anywhere. That's
it's
crazy.
not like this is a dying town. Like this is a booming fucking town. Texas looks like the Bay Area did in 2016, 17, 18, 19. There's fucking cranes everywhere, road work everywhere.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know, like San Francisco completely changed from the time I moved there from 2018. The skyline looked pretty much like if you look at an old movie, if you look at Dirty Harry or something like that, the skyline didn't really change much from then to even the early 2000s, but now it's like it's all skyscrapers. Like it just blew up overnight. Even crooked skyscrapers. Look into that one. That was pretty funny. It's off by like 1.5 feet, and it's still sinking, and they can't do anything about it. But yeah, like the town blew up, and like that's doing that here now. Texas is a con. I'm sure Florida's the same too. They're just fucking booming right now, despite like everything else going to shit because everybody moved here. California lost over 300,000 people last year.
Yeah,
last year. Wow. That's a lot of tax money leaving. Sindek. Oh, what's up, Sindek? The mighty Sindek works with George, the Giant Slayer. Very talented artist, editor, digital artist.
What's up?
What's up? For $25 says, "Hey brother, happy new year to you, Mel and Chris Gore. I love to see the Gary face logo that he created, by the way. He everywhere. That was his work. So thank you very much, Sindek. Please show the video meme I made where Jennifer Lawrence, it's like 2 minutes long, posted on George, the Giant Slayer's channel. Before we end the show, we will do that, Sindek. Absolutely. We love George. And hail George, by the way.
George.
So well this year. Love George. Oh, another announcement. Well, it hits my head. We are going to name our unnamed paranormal show this Sunday, but it might be, we're down to 2, and I think we're going to let you guys decide.
Yep.
I have my preference, but we'll let the people decide. Toon Zone. This is 2 parts for $20. Thank you. It says X-Ray Ghoul volunteered to sort Gary's comics. Has Gary warned her about the series like Peter Parker Spider-Man that changes to just Spectacular Spider-Man? Yes, I have a absolute fix for all this. And I'll get to it. Relaunch at number 1, go back to Peter Parker Spider-Man to resume classic numbering, then relaunch again over and over. Yeah, what you do is you scrub the Peter Parker and you just make it Spectacular Spider-Man, but it all gets filed under Spider-Man. All right. So this is how you alphabetize comic books that have multiple titles. You title it under their name, and then it's alphabetical under so it starts with Amazing, or Adventures. There's the animated adaptions that are called Adventures of Spider-Man. That's where you start. So you start with the A above. You start with the title, and then alphabetize with the word preceding the title. It's very easy. I developed a way. You just need a big room. I developed a way that you can alphabetize comics so fast. And it's like multi-layered alphabetizing. If you have like 4 long boxes that are just filled with, they're a mess. First thing you do is you pull out everything that starts with A, and you start an A pile, a B pile, a C pile, a D pile, and then you alphabetize each individual pile. It's much faster. I had shit done like that. Well, I had the people do it. I didn't do it.
Made the system.
I made up the system, though. Bradley Burnett has gifted 10 Nerdrotic memberships for $50. Thank you, Bradley Burnett.
Bradley.
Stuart Hamilton for $20 says, "Feel better soon, X-Ray Girl." Yeah.
Thank you.
Seriously.
I will try not to party as hard tonight.
Yeah, slow down, girl.
You made a poor choice.
Which is also tonight. So
With
Oh,
are
yeah.
you gonna have MVP on? Or is it,
if he's not busy, maybe we'll have him on.
not busy lifting weights or I don't know, looking at himself in the mirror? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, Max.
Hi, Max.
He's
I
so
know you're
like
out
not
there.
like that. It's hilarious.
I
I was
know,
like,
no, he's
last
like
time I
the-
saw him, I was like, dude, you look jacked. And he's like, whatever.
He is
It's
the
the
most
shirt. He was like, it's the shirt.
he is a humble man. He is a humble man. So yeah, I like Max. Good dude.
Yeah, Max
I'll
awesome.
give him shit.
Follow
Key Lime
him.
Kayla. Oh, my sober sister out there. Good to see you. Has gifted 10 Nerdrotic memberships. Didn't she win the last night on Tuesday Night Main Event? By the way, she won the 4K projector.
Oh, nice.
That they were giving away at the Orlando meetup, I think. It might have been a different one later, but yeah, those are. I have one of those. They're awesome. You will like it. You got to get the screen to go with it, but
yeah, in a room.
Oh, dude, it's like New Year's holiday was so great because like after Blood Origin, I'm like, fuck this shit. I'm out. I'm done. Like I can't do any more bullshit.
Not for the year, damn it.
Not for the end of the year. So brother-in-law was over. He had never seen Reacher or Terminal List, so we watched them all the way through
nice.
back. Then I've been watching Doctor Who, the full Tenet run. Yeah, it's been good. It's been I get mixed in with fucking Avatar, but like my brother-in-law came here and like fixed every little thing wrong with our house. Like he's super handy. I'm not. So like outlets, all kinds of shit, all fixed. New ceiling fans. House is awesome. Oh, you know why I'm super happy today? Just personal story. I thought we were going to need a new roof. So I was a little sad.
Yes.
Because this isn't like replacing a
Those are a little expensive
roof like I did in San Francisco that the insurance covered half of. This was going to be ouch. And, you know, the IRS is coming soon.
Yep.
And it just needs to be repaired. So it's only going to be $2,000 instead of another house. So I was very happy, very ecstatic about that today. Because nobody wakes up in the morning and goes, you know, I'm going to go shopping for a new roof today. Nobody does that. Bradley Burnett for $25 says, today I saw Twitter exchange between Robert Meyer Burnett and another YouTuber about Picard season 3. That other YouTuber was Doomcock. That's fine. We're not avoiding names here. Robert Meyer Burnett was trying to engage in a debate, but was hardly rebuffed. I despise New Trek, but I don't think rejecting debate is the right way to go. Opinion. I mean, it's up to the individual. That's what I always say. But I would debate Robert Meyer Burnett on Star Trek season 3. Absolutely. And he would destroy me on knowledge, but like we would be talking about the merits of that particular season. And I absolutely will stand up to whether it's good or bad. But the argument that we are supporting the people who murdered Trek, I kind of agree with that.
Yeah,
I do. So it's not like you still got to be honest though. Like if something's good, it's good. Like people are out there. I think when people go out there and like see Andor and go like Andor's good, I disagree, but they say Andor good. I don't see Mahler by saying that endorsing Disney Star Wars. Do you? No. So like arguments are a little more complex. We can't be that binary, but it's up to the individual. Like, and listen, I am that way on some stuff too. Like if somebody wanted to debate something Star Wars with me, I'd be like, fuck no. No, done. And I don't like black pills, but I just like, I can't pretend to care about something either. Like, and I just don't care about Star Wars anymore. My interest is gone. And I feel the same way about Star Wars as I do about Hello Kitty now. I don't give a shit. So, all due respect to both YouTubers, they have the right to their fucking opinion. But I think, for one, debates can be entertaining, especially when they're just about, they're not like fucking political debates. We're debating the merits of Star Trek and a season of Picard. I think that would be good YouTube, personally.
Yeah.
That's me. And yeah. But I mean, like Robert is really backing it up though. Like he's seen it 3 times. And I like Robert, but I don't agree with him on his takes. Like he liked Shang-Chi. I thought it was hot garbage. So I think based on what I've seen from the Star Trek trailer, like I've seen the Star Trek trailer, it looks like more of the same shit to me with Girl Hitler. And like Amanda Plummer being Girl Hitler, like right down to like the grease down. That's why I call her Girl Hitler. Look at her fucking haircut. It's Girl Hitler. She's just missing a fucking mustache. It's ridiculous. It's stupid. Plus Terry Matalas did write Picard season 3. He was part of it. You can't separate yourself from it. Plus he's going after people on Twitter, right? And I liked his 12 Monkeys stuff. I thought it was good. I thought the show was really fun and good. I've reviewed it on this channel, but yeah, like you need to get like the showrunner needs to get the fuck off Twitter, right? And showrunners just need to interact positively. I don't care how much your feelings get fucking hurt. You need to take the high road, okay? You know, I get shit like many YouTubers say. Chris gets shit every day. Garrett gets shit every day. X-Ray Girl, oh, she deserves the shit she gets, but I get shit every day. And I'm just kidding.
She can't fight back right now.
I'm just kidding. No, she can't. No, that's what makes it fun.
Well, I'll say, Gary, I get shit if I look for it. Like literally, if I look deep into Twitter, I'll find people talking shit about me. But like, if I don't look for it, it doesn't exist. Although I will say, I used to use the mute function a lot on Twitter. It doesn't work. I still see people who I mute. Like I don't want to engage with them. I don't want to see them in my @mentions or replies. So I just started blocking people. I've never done that. I only recently started blocking people. Like I don't need this negativity. You're not engaged in a serious debate. You're looking at reputation destruction or personal attacks or insults. That's not debate.
Yeah.
God, I just had to like fire someone from Film Thread, a writer who wrote some like dude, you don't know how to like. I feel like everyone here knows how to debate respectfully, right? I can disagree with RMB's opinion. We can also debate respectfully. You know, also what's great about being challenged about your opinion, it forces you to come up with better arguments.
Yeah.
And sometimes your mind can be changed. I mean, to me, the best thing Crowder ever did was that Change My Mind series. I love that. I love that series.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. And that's what, you know, so if people are being disingenuous and they just want to be cruel for cruelty's sake, yeah, I don't engage with them. But yeah, I've just started blocking people because you don't need to be a part of what I'm about. F you. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I like I'll see it in my notifications. I'll see like somebody call me an incel or
right
say something about meth or what.
I just got toys.
I left. Some of them are pretty good burns though. I mean, like I'll chuckle. It's like, oh, that was a good one. You know, but like that's all you can do. Don't let it get to you. I don't block or fucking mute anybody. Yeah. And I just don't care. You know, I like serious.
Yeah, just move on.
Just move on. And like, but I think like nerd debates are fun. I love them. Like when I was arguing with Jeremy about the binging, I was having the best time. Like,
that's my favorite thing about
that was so great.
Is arguing about what would this person against this person be, like who would win, like that stuff's the best. And I think like that's what it should be, is people having debates about nerd topics like that.
But I think where Doomcock and other people come from, and this is probably where I come from. Listen, like House of the Dragon completely changed my mind, like shocked me how good it was. And I never thought I'd be endorsing it as a series or like, especially after like all my criticism of George, which I still have. But it was good. It was objectively good. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good fantasy. It wasn't perfect. Wasn't as good as Game of Thrones season 1 or anything like that. But it was like out of what we got this year, it was really good. I liked it. Am I ready to tell people to invest in it? I don't think I'm even there yet. But the difference was there's a completely different, other than George, no Dan and Dave, nobody in charge, even at Warner Brothers, is there anymore. This is a new regime. So that takes part of it. With Star Trek, Kurtzman still the EP. I'm knocking shit over my desk because I'm pounding my face.
It's still there.
He directed the fan is racist narrative. He helped push this narrative. He also chose a side politically, openly during an election and putting like Stacey Abrams in and campaigning for Biden. That's not what's like. I know what side Roddenberry was on. I know that, but Star Trek spoke to everybody. It used to speak to everybody, and it never it chose a side where there were never sides before.
Yes.
Star Trek's like, yeah, we have a philosophy, but we're trying to talk to everybody. And it was really entertaining and good. And that's why Star Trek would not have survived if only liberals liked it. It would have never made it this long. And I put up the evidence that nobody is fucking watching this show. Nobody's even critiquing it. They certified themselves fresh. They talked about it on Twitter when 16 fucking critics reviewed it. 16. And the audience score is under 1,000 for season 4, which came out a year ago. So nobody's watching this shit. Nobody fucking cares because they killed it. And Kurtzman killed it. So to support that, I can't do because he came after the fans. It's one thing to make shit, but it's another thing to craft anti-fan narratives and push them willingly with the access media and your own fucking mouth, to calling it a platform and a guy who's a fucking hack. Like, you think JJ's a hack, Kurtzman's worse. So it's hard to, I don't blame anybody for not wanting any part of that.
Do you think, Gary, at some point there'll be an apology or not so much an apology, but at least a recognition that we made mistakes by leaning into one side politically when we were making these shows? I mean, when you look at something like, okay, going to see Top Gun Maverick and you saw that video that Tom Cruise was just thanking the audience for showing up, and that video that recently was out where they showed Tom Cruise jumping out of the plane.
Oh, that was amazing.
It's like, it's our honor to entertain you, or it's like it's our privilege and honor to entertain. Do you see that attitude? And then even when I saw a movie you're not going to see, Babylon, they even at the beginning of Babylon, they did a video that was similar to the Tom Cruise Top Gun Maverick video, where they just thank you for coming to the theater to see this movie. That is such a great attitude. Like I support that and love that. And I feel like Tom Cruise is going to, like, forget the rest of the industry. Tom Cruise movies are going to be huge. I mean, going to space, to the space station, for, you heard about that, right?
Yep. Oh yeah.
Crazy. I mean, the lengths this guy will do to entertain, and the care that, and how much it appears as if it could all be fake, whatever. He appreciates and is grateful for where he is. You get none of that from modern people working in modern Hollywood. There's no being grateful for where you are, taking it with some level of seriousness. No matter what level you're making money, like you are sitting in front of a computer writing something, or you're on a film set shooting something. How that is the dream. You should be so grateful. You would appreciate the fans. Whereas you look at something like, that the end of She-Hulk, where they just made the fans the villains.
They wrote the entire show based around the trolls.
Why did they do that? Why did they think that that's, and I really do agree. Earlier, you were saying, Gary, that the downfall of Disney kind of, Gina Carano, like that, because it represented not just, her getting fired. It was the reasons she got fired, because she didn't think the same way, because she questioned things. And actually, if you look at Gina, and I'm not trying to, put anything on her about what she thinks. All she does is ask questions. Yep. Everything that she put out there was just asking questions. She was seeing trends and seeing things that were concerning to her. And she called it out. And her bravery for doing that should be commended. But why aren't more people doing that? There was even a thing on like New Year's Eve. There was this crazy actor from Sex and the City. X-Ray Girl would know who the actor is. He was one of the husbands of one of the characters in the show. Was going off on people for not wearing masks. Like he was indoors. And he was just attacking regular people and being incredibly cruel to just whoever, was trying to engage with him. It was bizarre. I don't understand that attitude. And I don't know where the management is in Hollywood to just say, look, you might want to tone this down a bit. Because we're seeing it reflected
over by activists. They got taken
well,
over.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's true, but like for that, they're giving bad advice. I feel like there's just no, I hate to say this, adults in the room when it comes to the talent, because they're already pretty much children to begin with. And then you add on sort of no restraints, and you put some sort of loaded weapon in their hands. Social
almost
media,
encouraged.
It's almost encouraged, and it's been so corrosive. You can't point to one thing of why Hollywood is failing. It really is death by 1,000 cuts. There are some major things. There's clearly some major things, but each of these things adds to it. Adds to the reasons people are tuning out, not going to movies on the regular. It used to be in the before times, Hollywood could put out, there'd be the tentpole movies, the big popcorn movies, great, fine. But you would just go to the movies because it was a habit.
Yeah.
It was
Every Friday you'd go, I'm going to the new movie that came out.
Yep.
Let's see the new movie. Oh, this one sucked. This one was okay. This was a good drama. Oh, great. A new Marvel movie, can't wait for that. And, but that's done. That's done. It does. And take something like James Cameron Avatar to kind of wake everybody up and go, okay, we really need spectacle. I mean, a lot of people have even talked about that Hollywood or the theatrical movie-going experience will be likened to Broadway. It's just going to be more expensive, and you'll go less often. And it's going to be like a Broadway play. It'll be okay. I'm going to pay $30 or $40 to get this experience, and I'll get the light up popcorn bucket, and I'll get the dine in where they serve you food to your seat. I've gone to those; they're great, but it's not.
It's not. Yeah, it's not like it used to be.
That's not something you could have in a town of 100,000 people.
Right.
That's going to be urban centers.
It's going to be the drive-in. It's going to turn into the drive-in.
Yeah,
it's going to be like a premium experience, but it's just distressing because Gary, when you were in town, you were reminiscing about our time together in Los Angeles.
You just had to say it like that, didn't you?
Yeah, I did that on purpose.
Our beautiful weekend.
But it was. You got to meet a lot of the people that they're good people that are still here trying to make a go of it. And look, if you want to come back, by the way, WonderCon is at the end of March. I put the link in the private chat to WonderCon. I'm pitching them some panels.
Okay, I got press.
Hell yeah.
I got press for that.
Oh, you got press credentials?
I got press credentials. Well, it's San Diego Comic-Con, same thing. So I get them.
Yeah, it's the same company.
Yeah.
Because WonderCon used to be San Francisco. That's where we met.
Yes, it did. That's where we met, and I used to have booth there. And just a quick aside, WonderCon in San Francisco at Moscone was gonna be as big as Comic-Con. It was on its way. It was huge, and then they scrapped it and left.
It was great. And that year I went there, Ryan Reynolds was there. They were promoting. They had like a teaser for Green Lantern. It was great. That was what, 2011?
Yeah.
Somewhere like
remember when they did the 300 there, and they had like all the Spartans marching, and the advent of the V mask came from WonderCon because they gave away a bunch of free V masks for V for Vendetta. They were under our chairs, and then everybody got them, and they started reproducing them. Yeah,
that's great. But so if you're thinking about going to WonderCon, we should make a plan. We'll talk offline, obviously. So let me know.
Yeah, I can fly up. I don't have to get. There's certain shit I'm just gonna have to fly to.
Just bite the bullet. Yeah,
bite the bullet
for sure.
Stuff I have to drive. The Grizzly for $50. What's up, Grizzly?
Yeah.
You will never have Holly Woke apologize. Agreed. For being anti-American and anti-fan. You have a bunch of egos that cannot be wrong ever. They would rather use the dark powers of the rap. Do you get what I'm referencing, Gary? Yes. To change reality, to make them right. Yes. I completely agree. Chris,
that's what Disney's doing right now.
If one company did get smart and apologized, they would be the most successful company. That would be the most successful executive producer. Whoever does that will be instantly popular.
But it doesn't even need to be a formal apology. It can be something as simple as Bob Iger saying, we're politically going in directions that we need to be more apolitical. You know, like even like you know, for the most part, like video gamers, they don't care about politics. Give me a fun game with an engaging story, right? But the fact that like gaming has gotten political, or you know, comic books, I see the only time I hear about comic books now, it's because I used to get like recommendations, like, oh, I got to get that. I want to get that in a graphic novel collected because I don't go to the comic store every week. But now it's like I only hear about it when crazy, wacky stuff appears in comics. We were talking before you joined us. I couldn't believe we beat you, Gary. But I'm excited.
What a surprise!
I'm excited to talk about this Joker pregnancy thing. I saw Yellow Flash video on it. I woke up this morning to Yellow Flash's video. What's going on? Shout out to Yellow Flash.
Shout out to Yellow Flash, by the way. At Nerd Cookies, I saw you in there. Yeah, Dune is like the one movie like I give a shit about this year. That, Guardians 3, Mission Impossible. Like, I'm looking forward to a Mission Impossible movie. That's how
that is kind of crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
But let me make sure we're doing So
oh my God.
Retweeted from the great Nerd Cookie. Yeah, Dune. It's coming out later this year. I think November 1st is the date I saw. So that's good. That's good. And they turned it around pretty quick. A movie.
Yeah, that is actually
that big and that complex. And and that's a spectacle. It's a spectacle. I foresee it doing better than the first one, Nerd Cookies, because it'll be in theaters only. So all right. So yes, this is real. This is we'll go to her tweet. And here's the original one from Jester Bell. You can see that right on the screen. Okay, good. You can see that. Today, DC released a comic in which the Joker became pregnant and gives birth to a mud monster who transforms into a child version of himself who he adopts as his son. I don't know how much longer I can do this.
Comic book writers now have some weird kinks, and they need to just keep them private.
Yeah.
Right? It's fine. Do what you want. That's all cool. Whatever. Just keep it private. Don't put it in a book for children.
Yeah, I mean, comics have become fetishized now. That's just it.
That's what I was talking about when you came in, Gary. I was saying, like, all of the writers seem to, like, back in the day, there were some weird comics and they had to do all kinds of weird and wacky things, right? But it was never like weird sexual body things with genitalia and reproduction like that. I don't know. It's always just weird stuff like that. That seems to be the weird stuff they do in comics now.
We were talking about before the stream started about weird comics, right? There was that, what's his name? Scott Shaw does this thing called Oddball Comics. It's a panel that has been done at San Diego Comic-Con, among other conventions. And this guy goes through weird, like, you're like, oh my God, it's like Wonder Woman's 100 feet tall, or like, it's just like, it's all weird stuff, or aliens, or now Batman and Robin are puppets instead of humans.
Yeah.
You know, their hand, like, it's just weird stuff. And like, during that era, like in the 50s or whatever, it was just weird for weird's sake. And there was always some bizarre explanation within the body of the comic itself. But the sort of weird comic stuff where every character has to be, you know, sexuality swapped, or, you know, their sexualities in question, or some bizarre stuff. It's weird. It's weird.
It's just weird. All right.
This is like Doctor Who having the pregnant man, which can be fine in Doctor Who because it's a weird place, but we know what it's pushing. We know what this is pushing.
Yeah.
It's pushing that men can be pregnant, which they can't. That is not true. That is just fucking not true. And I'm not going to live in a world where 2 + 2 = 5. And I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to acknowledge it ever. Okay. Ever. I'm fine with people identifying however the fuck they want, but I know what's true and what isn't. And I'm going to say that. It's part of my program, rigorous honesty. All right. So yeah, this is weird. It's bizarre. It's fetishizing and making it a mud monster. So he literally shits him out.
Yeah. Where's the baby coming out of?
Yeah. And
That's
then, you know, like people wrote like, is this like, when I saw it, I was like, and this is on top of something else that came out, you know, like I'm just, I do not regret my decision of giving up the passion I had for collecting comics. That was my main thing. Like over anything was collecting comic books, and I gave it up 2 years ago. A 4-decade hobby I gave up because of this, and I haven't looked back, haven't missed it.
No regrets.
No regrets at all. So Jane, the great Jane Theory, please subscribe to her channel.
Jane's awesome.
Voice of an Angel, joined us on some House of the Dragon stuff. Will join us in the future as well. Said yes, it's real. And there's Atomic Skull with his head in between the legs of Joker, pulling a mud baby out of his asshole.
That's where we're at, folks.
Oh my God.
That's where we're at.
This
I
is
don't even
from
know what to
San
say.
Francisco we live in today. This is even, I don't know, man. Eric July said it best. DC, dead company.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Dead company. That's his. So like when I don't know how much longer, well, they can't, like the DC is so small, right? It's an IP farm right now. DC and Marvel are small and insignificant. That's why the axe of Zaslav hasn't made it down there yet. It will. And yeah, I can certainly see these, like the main, Superman, Batman being farmed out, being licensed out to somebody. It makes sense. And you'd probably get a better artist and a writer, and they would have to create actual comics, but it's going to be too late. Like manga has stolen the market, whether you like it or not. And I'm not even saying manga is telling stories that the comic book industry was telling 20 years ago. That's all they were doing. They're not reinventing the wheel. And there's tons of manga fans, and good. I think the French comics are light years better, but they're not superhero. They're not. They're like a lot of cowboy stories, fantasy stories, shit like stuff I like. But yeah, it's just that the market's gone. It's gone. You lost it. I walked through a Barnes & Noble. I showed the video on the live stream a couple of weeks ago. The manga section in the Barnes & Noble here in San Antonio at the mall is 32 sections to 6 sections for the American, 6 shelves. So 32 shelves of manga from floor to ceiling. The 6 shelves for the American comic book industry were floor to waist level and filled with Sandman, Transmetropolitan, the stuff you normally see from 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Preacher.
Again, this is another industry they sheer fucking hubris took their audience for granted, just accepted that, just thought that they were just going to show up for whatever garbage you're going to put in front of them. And then people went, oh man, the economy's really bad. I'm not going to buy this extra stuff. Plus it sucks.
It sucks. And they're charging more for this, right? I don't even know what the average, is it $4, $5 now for a comic book?
Yeah, I think so. It's like 4 or 5. I haven't bought one in fucking years.
Christian Wolf for $10 says 40K is Dune with some Alien, Starship Troopers, and Judge Dredd, a big scoop of Event Horizon, and then a dash of Tolkien and the Spanish Inquisition.
Yeah,
done right, will be spectacular.
That's a great explanation of that. Of
great,
40K.
I love it. I like that. Sounds fucking awesome. There's nothing wrong with that. But as Nerd Cookies will be very happy to hear, because I was very lukewarm on Dune, but I watched it again at my house in my fabulous theater that my wife made for me. So keep her. And I enjoyed it a lot more. I'm like, okay. I didn't like where they ended it, but as far as world building, I thought they did a pretty freaking good job.
Yeah.
And I think Denis Villeneuve, whatever his name is, visually amazing director, but I haven't been a big fan of his work prior to Dune. I freaking hate Blade Runner 2049. Hate that movie.
A little slow.
It's
a story stuff.
Completely ruins one of the greatest debates. And I know Ridley Scott did, but I just never believed him. Right? It ruined one of the greatest debates in film history. So that should have gone on forever. There should be no sequel to Blade Runner. Because remember, Blade Runner is a small little story, the movie, okay? And I like the book too, and I did read the book. But the
Looks
movie,
good too.
There's a great comic adaptation out there of the book. Just go get it.
Really?
But the movie, oh yeah, there's hardcovers. You can get like 4 hardcovers.
I'm gonna get one.
Of Electrical Sheep. But the movie there's this little slice of something going on in a bigger world with bigger problems that most movies would focus on, like the replicants coming down to replace the humans, but you just had it told with this in this noir style that at the time did not do well, arguably a flop. I watched it in the movie theater with my mom because it was rated R, my friend Doug, in an empty movie theater, and we walked out of there like lives changed. Never seen a movie like that before. So I didn't know what noir was when I was like 11 when it came out, and it turned me on to noir and the lighting and the directing and
the music
and
God.
Everything about it. I'm like, that is the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen, and nobody liked it. And I'm like, I don't care. Fuck, that was the coolest thing I've ever seen.
They're wrong.
Yep, they're wrong.
I had a similar experience, Gary. I saw it in an empty theater. Might have been like 3-4 people in the theater, and and I saw it in its first run. And it was one of those movies that just stayed with you. Like there was so much, to think about after, and it did kind of like, because it owed so much to the old film noir. Like you could go down a rabbit hole of looking at all the influences, right? But it's God, the fact that movie still holds up, movie from 1982, it's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, the effects hold up 100%. Like, the opening shot of the city and the fire shooting up and see the horizon and all that was all shot practically in camera, and it looked beautiful.
Trumbull, the GOAT, absolute GOAT,
the GOAT.
2001, Space Odyssey, Close Encounters of the Third Kind,
and they all look good. They all still look good.
Encounters still looks good. Like
I went to a re-release in theaters probably 4 years ago, and man, it looked beautiful.
That's
beautiful on screen.
JJ ripped off the lens flare from him, but he did it like normally. It wasn't like 5,000 of them, just a couple here and there.
And he also did Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
Yeah. The Enterprise the best the Starship Enterprise ever looked was in Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
Yep,
that's the best. You believed the scale and the size of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
I like the guy in the suit flipping, like like as it's taken off.
Yeah, that's great.
Good stuff. I have that director's cut, beautiful 4K gift pack.
I gotta get that now. All right.
If you're into physical media, you have to own that. That is a must own. A must own. I couldn't get it. I had to get it off eBay because I missed the first because it sold out like instantly. But not a fan of Blade Runner 2049. Just not. I thought it would be. I was super excited, and then Harrison Ford came out in a T-shirt. It's like, bro,
damn, what is this?
You got it at Walmart? What the fuck? Like this is where art is today. And like comics, like storytelling in comics in the mid 2000s, the mid aughts, was pretty good. There were doing a lot of fun, different things, and it laid the groundwork for the shit that we've got today, which is sad. How do I say this one? Do I use the Farius for $20? Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Cheers. Bro, you just described my entire industry, Jeremy, production art. A lot of it is just disposable, formulaic junk food. Yeah. And I'm fine with some of that. I like popcorn blockbusters. I've always been like that. I've never been into like pop music, right? I've always been like super edgy and into metal and shit. I like all the dark stuff and all the stuff on the fringes. And I like with comics. I like the mainstream stuff and I like it all. But with movies, and I know there's independent films out there that are really good that I haven't seen that I just probably never heard of. But it used to be easier to find them.
Right.
But I've always liked a good. I like popcorn movies. I like Armageddon. I like Michael Bay movies.
Yeah.
I'd never
What's wrong
been
with that?
critical of that.
Great.
I'm just like, those are fun, you know. But like, it's just that's how bad things have gotten. You know, when you struggle to make a top 5 list for movies, so you have to include like TV shows and stuff. Like that's where I'm at. Inakbamon for $25. I love how whenever Chris says something profound, he immediately apologizes. It's okay, Chris. I know we're used to listening to Gary, but we can hear smart stuff every once in a while. Oh, fuck you.
Sorry. I'm apologizing for
You just did it again.
Are you sure you're not Canadian?
Well, first of all, I grew up in Michigan, so right outside of Canada. So I used to watch the CBC. So I feel like I'm part Canadian. But also, Gary, I've been watching you for years, and I would, to me, it's just such an honor to be on the show because now I can like sort of watch the show, but also like I can the comments. Because I would say like, I would disagree with you about something, or I'd have like a point to add, or like whatever. Or now I'm like on the show. It's like it feels weird. So I love it, but I don't want to ruin it.
It feels weird that I'm watching Chris Gore from before this legendary fucking show that like was like the talk of the comic shop every day. Like every day we talked about G4. It was like our jam.
Well, hopefully we'll be talking about it again in April when the movie comes out. And
when you're talking,
hell yeah.
You might recognize some people in that movie. But also, Gary, congratulations. I forgot to bring this up. Your latest video that is practically a documentary, it's like a mini documentary, it got to 1 million in less than a week. I think it was like maybe 4 days. You could probably tell me, but I cannot believe I had to watch it twice. So good. I'm sure that most people on your channel have seen it, but holy cow, you got to do more of that, like a monthly video that is sort of this epic takedown. And you can't, what I love about your approach is you include backup info to every claim. So what you're saying is irrefutable, and it's spectacular. So congrats for that.
Thank you. Perry is a master at what he does. And it's like he crawls in my head. Like once in a while, he'll ask me like, what did you mean by this? But it's not often. And sometimes it's never, which is weird because I expect him to, I'm like, hey, if you got any questions on anything, hit me up. And I expect like 10 or 20. Nah, he's got it. He figures he knows what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's weird. That's weird. By the way, Perry, if you're out there, we're sending your plaque today. His well-earned plaque from Nerdrotic.
Oh, did you get it?
I got the plaque. We took a picture.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's going out to him. He earned it. It's his baby. Well done, buddy. Well done,
bro.
I got the best crew. We
got a good crew here.
The rest of the super chat says, just kidding, Gary. And Nakman, no, you're not. Okay. No, you're not. You're wise for someone who can't read. And then he says in parentheses, I'm kind of a dick. Well, so am I. That's okay. What did I say to my brother-in-law? I cut somebody off on the road. He's all, don't be a dick. I'm all, I'm not a dick. I'm Californian.
Just how it is.
It just comes naturally. I felt that. Okay. Like I'm driving like a Californian on Texas roads are smaller. Like California, 24-lane freeways. The roads they're just wider. They're wider.
San Antonio, yeah.
San Antonio, that's thin.
Yeah.
But I've got my FJ and I drive it like it's a motorcycle. So yeah, sorry, dude. I felt bad. I don't want to come here being the California dick. I'm trying really hard not to be. Mark Wilkins for $5. Exode girl. I pray you get better. You sound like you need chicken soup and sleep.
I've been in bed for like 7 days when I'm not working, and I've had lots of soup, so I'll get there eventually. Thank you.
That's good.
Yeah.
I was watching Tuesday Night's Main Event last night, and there was Drunk 3PO, I think, boomering through Elden Ring, and he was being tutored by Mark, and everybody's dumping on Drunk 3PO. And your husband's awesome, I would not want to be tutored by Mark. Mark? He's so there's too much information. He's all, well, you know, the graphic card and this and the level of that. And it's like, dude, just tell me, do I walk forward or do I walk backward? As just lets you like go and be stupid, and then he goes, don't do that again. You know,
we were on Sunday Funday with Az and X-Ray. We had Mark come in. What was the game we were playing? I can't remember, but we were playing a game. It was Monster Hunter, and he came in and he was like tutoring us and trying to tell us how to play the game. And I just like was like, I don't know what you're saying right now. I don't know what you're saying.
He's giving you the history of the game designer. Well, he grew
That's
up.
why he's so good at making videos. Like his
Germany.
videos are so well done.
To a milkmaid, and it's like, dude, I just need to know how to play. So I'm gonna back Drunk 3PO. I mean, he was terrible.
Oh no!
I'm gonna back Drunk 3PO on this one. Okay,
I became a good gamer because of Mark, though.
I love Mark. Freedom Bug for $2 says, "Get better, sick Ray girl." Sick Ray girl.
Sick Ray girl.
Panel in the chat. Yeah, get better. Like by Friday, that would be more optimal for me. Anyway,
I'm gonna keep this sexy voice for as long as I can.
Man, you should read a book on it. Forget your building stream. Just read a book on a stream after this. And, the super chats will come flying in. Tell me a story, X-Ray girl.
And then
50 Shades of Grey. That'll be the most guys who have listened to 50 Shades of Grey ever. Mostly gluten for $5. Gary, don't cancel Witcher on Thursday. Just temporarily replace Az with someone else. No.
Can't replace Az?
No. Az stayed up till 5 a.m. with me. I got to show a little loyalty back to my bro. We'll see how he feels tomorrow, but I'm going to do a wellness check. I'm going to listen to him. I'm going to ask him some questions because I actually care about his health. I also wanted to make it Friday Night Tights.
Hey, you're feeling better, buddy. Look, you're feeling better.
Speaking of sick, yeah, we lost Amla, right? Like Amla's sick.
Yeah, almost sick.
Yeah,
but we got a good person that surprisingly we're gonna do a switch around. You know, once Amla left. But yeah, Garrett, I think you should announce this if you want.
Oh, the great Dave Landau is going to be on Friday Night Tights this week. So,
yeah, and I won't have COVID when he's on. So I'll do the show.
And he won't be traveling, so it'll be, he'll be actually on the show. But we did a little show together, and want to let you guys.
I'll share that out today. By the way, that was really
and really good. Amla will be on it in a future episode.
That's great because she's great. So I hope she gets better, and she's welcome back on the show anytime because she's really good. And go check out our interview. One of the best ones like I've done. Like she knew her shit. So
yeah, she wasn't just bullshitting. Like she knew what was going on. She knew the deal.
No, she knows what's going on. She knows what's up.
Yep.
Eric K for $5. Eric, stop.
What are you doing?
What Chris and X-Ray girl at the same time? Bars making out and getting sick. Do your significant others know? Well, they know now, Eric.
Oh my god.
Busted.
I think Chris left.
No, I'm here.
Oh, there you are.
Hey, so you were at the 35er for the Rose Parade?
Do I have to be 35 years old to get in?
No.
Why is it called the 35er?
Why is it called?
It's a cheesy dive bar in Pasadena, and so I know the owner, I know the bartenders.
It's nice. Are you? Come on, it's nice.
Well, no. Okay, there are worse. I know of other dive bars that are actual dive bars. The 35 is like, it's more of a sports bar, but I don't know. It's every kind of crowd. It's bizarre.
It was a little hard being surrounded by all that fucking Dodger propaganda shit, but it was a little easier knowing that my Padres completely destroyed them in the playoffs. And I just sat there and smiled. And they serve great water at the 35er.
Yeah. Gary had a lot of water.
I had a lot of water.
Awesome. That's the thing is, X-Ray girl, before you're going out partying all night, you're going to clubs with your friends, you gotta hydrate. You can't
pre-hydrate.
No,
heard what
I
happened to Mac.
hydrate while I dehydrate. I always do
Yeah.
the it's called or I call it a skinny bitch. So it's vodka and soda water.
Sweet.
Skinny bitch.
Got a plan.
Can I get a skinny bitch, please?
Melanie's doing good now, by the way.
Yeah.
I know,
Yeah.
like hospital and then stalker. That's not like she's got a really good attitude about it afterwards. So very sorry she had to go through that.
Yeah.
She's cool. She can take it. If I was her dad, though,
I'd be a stalker.
that dude
Be
wouldn't
stalking him.
afterwards. So her dad's probably a good forgiving person. Samuel Schwager for 2 CHFs. Martian pesos. Party like there's no tomorrow. Hail X-ray good.
Hail.
For $10. Congratulations on your recent milestone, 9 years sober. Thank you very much, by the way. Yes, I just recently passed 9 years sober.
Congratulations.
Thanks, brother. And it's right around the 9, and it's not a coincidence. It's right around the 9-year anniversary for the channel, which just by coincidence is the day after January 6th. You're an inspiration, 335 days strong here. Oh my God. You are so close to a year. I want to hear when it's a year, Key Lime Kayla. Okay. Because it was like in the 200s when we met in Orlando. She is, you're an inspiration, by the way. That first year is so like she was smiling and yeah. And you're finding out that like this is where like, oh, life does get better. This is kind of great. I kind of don't like feeling miserable all the time and dead inside. Ghost Rider for $5. Gary, what are you doing to when are you going to do another Witcher stream? I need more Gary playing Witcher in my life, please. It will be tomorrow or a week from tomorrow. Tomorrow or a week from tomorrow. Be on a Thursday. Be on a Thursday in the morning because we're not going to make Az stay up so late because I don't want to stay up that late either. Nick Brony for $4.99. Hardest I've laughed last year was Quarter Black pausing on Elrond and Durin during each of the giving each other loving looks. Never missed an FNT since then. Hail, that was our moment of the year.
That was beautiful. And I was backstage. I didn't even get to be in there with you guys. But man,
it wasn't even on purpose, right? Like you were, or were you?
What? It was a little on purpose. At first, I paused it and it was like, oh man, this is a good spot.
But then you kept going and it got gayer as it went on.
Yeah, the show is that gay. It wasn't me. I didn't make it. It was the show that was that funny.
Oh my God. I needed it to stop because I was like getting to the point where like it was hurting my
yeah, it was like...
I was laughing so hard, dude. Tim Riggs for $5. Don't usually get to watch this show live because of work, but I took this week off. Love the channel. Gary, keep it up. Chris, big fan of Film Threat. That's awesome. Film Threat magazine. Have you gotten through signing all those Film Threats magazines yet?
I did that last week. It was great. I shipped it off to Gil and no, that was fun. It was fun sort of reminiscing. I think we're going to do some sort of Kickstarter for when the Film Threat documentary comes out. And maybe we'll have one of the things. We'll do like a digital versions of every single issue of Film Threat. I'm looking through and there's like stuff in there that like, it was definitely for its time. It was, well,
that's the best part. Can you reprint the first copy?
Yeah. I mean, like I have one copy
of all the other ones and like reprint your first Film Threat.
What I want to do is like scan them all, get them all scanned and do like a digital collection, right? So you get like every single issue ever done, and then maybe do like some Taschen style like coffee table book that's got reprints. So we'll see. We're talking about a bunch of stuff.
That's a great idea. Like that.
Yeah.
Taschen Fantastic Four book you showed me, and I'm like, so I got it because it was freaking great.
Hey, can I tell you what I'm doing right now?
Absolutely.
I am in line. I am in a digital waiting room. I'll tell you what I'm doing right now. I'm in the digital waiting room. The American Cinematheque is showing RRR on Monday in IMAX at the TCL Chinese Theater in Hollywood. And the cast is going to be there.
Whoa.
At the front door.
Excited.
I finally watched
yeah.
it,
And I
by the
saw
way.
you finally saw RRR, which I was so excited that you saw it. And
I
then
love
people were kind of mocking me on Twitter when I was encouraging you and saying, like, look at all the manly energy in this movie.
There was
like
a lot
more
of manly energy. Oh
Yeah.
my God. The muscles. Even the dance stuff was like manly. I would not have thought that, but like, dang. There's a way to do
so
it.
I'm gonna see it for a 6th time in the theater this year.
Wow. That's great.
So,
Fanboy.
Gary, you still have yet to see it. You
I'm
still have
gonna
yet to
see it. I think either tonight or tomorrow night. I saw Everything Everywhere All at Once, and it was fucking fantastic.
Oh,
Yeah, how was
movie
that? I really
so
want to see
good.
that.
Fucking great. Great.
You should watch it for sure.
movie. Like
That's the
they
better
don't make them like
multiverse.
that anymore. They just
No.
don't.
It was just so creative.
Got
Yeah.
short round in it, man. I want to watch just for that.
Dude, but it does like somebody pointed out that like it did what Doctor Strange could have done, and absolutely like this movie just schooled Doctor Strange. Schooled it. And I hate to say that. Like Sam Raimi is one of my favorite people, my favorite directors of all time. And fuck that Evil Dead that's coming out.
Speaking of, did you see
no
that?
Ash, no Evil Dead.
Yep. Nope.
Nope.
No Ash, no peace.
Just watch if you haven't, watch Ash versus the Evil Dead TV show.
Fantastic.
3 seasons. So good. It's the Cobra Kai of horror. Okay. It's the Cobra Kai of horror.
And it happened
New
before Cobra Kai.
And it happened before Cobra Kai. Okay. So there you go.
I heard about the Evil Dead Rise years ago when they first announced that it was happening, and I read it and I was like, all female cast.
It's all
a
women.
female cast. I'm
versus
like,
Evil
no,
Dead.
fuck that. I'm like, no, red flag everywhere.
No thanks. No thanks. Bashy Washy has gifted 10 Nerdrotic memberships for $50. Thank you, Bashy Washy. You're awesome.
Bashy
Love
Washy.
you. Greg the Hammer has gifted 5 Nerdrotic memberships for $25. That is great. We are going to do we're going to do a member stream probably Saturday in conjunction with the channel anniversary. So
Oh, nice.
9 years. I mean, I haven't been like consistently uploading for 9. That's when I started the channel, and I kind of didn't do anything for a couple years. I just backed up my podcast on it. But I'll go over the whole story of like how like I had been to school. I had been a professional editor, but when it came to audio and stuff, I just didn't know what I was doing. So I just it's Audacity. I started on Audacity.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody got to start somewhere, man.
Yeah, that's where I used to record the old podcast from the Comic Outpost back in the mid 2000s called We Have Issues that has just disappeared off the face of the earth. I have some backup copies somewhere. I got to find the one where there was when Disney bought Marvel. I brought the whole crew in and we talked about it for 2 hours. And we all said, yeah, the movies are going to be pretty good. The comics will suffer. Well, the movies were pretty good for a while, and the comics definitely suffered.
Yeah.
Jester of Roanoke for $5. What's this? Joker pregnant? Fandom appalled? Gary's not the father? Tune in next week. Same Dead Company. Dead Company channel. Oh, well done, Jester of Roanoke.
Vicious.
MK Solid 82 for $4.99. Gary, how do you guys feel about V for Vendetta, the movie? I love it. I know
Love
it's made, but the pro Antifa extreme left messaging is pretty disturbing. Well, it's about fighting authoritarianism, but it's like right-wing authoritarianism. I don't like right-wing or left-wing authoritarianism, so I'm fine. So it pushed anti-fascist, but I don't think it really pushed a collective commie mentality in it. I know that's certainly what's behind Alan Moore and everything else, but I think a movie can unintentionally teach a lesson. And I think that one is really well made. I love the comic. I love the movie. And fuck authoritarianism, be it from the right or the left.
Who cares where it comes from? I fucking hate people telling me what to do.
And I mean, like, that's just my assumption because of Alan Moore writing it, right? And Hollywood making it.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing I'll never, ever forget this, Chris. I saw Dennis Miller live in San Diego back, like it was like a year after I got out, and it was right at his change, and the first thing he said when he came out was, "I never thought the left could be the authoritarians, but I was wrong."
Mm.
And
what year was this? When was this?
1994.
Whoa. He was ahead of the
94.
curve.
So this is like during his change. And it was crazy to hear that. But my friend Doug, if you're out there, and sometimes Doug's in the chat, he was there. It was at Humphreys. And yeah, it was like based Dennis Miller in 1994. So that like woke me up to a lot of shit. Like somebody, like Bill Hicks, if he were alive today, I doubt he wouldn't be like stumping for the right, but he would be one of the people going, no, the authoritarianism is coming from the left right now, and it's really bad. It's bad. So it can come from both sides. And as Razorfist has pointed out a million times, go watch his videos. Where fascism comes from is socialism. That's where it came from. The word fascism came from Mussolini. Was a socialist, worked for the paper that's still a socialist paper today. He worked for. So he knows much more about it than I do. Go watch his stuff if you want to know about it. Authoritarianism is authoritarianism. It's fucked. Wherever it comes from, wherever it starts. Joker voice for $10. Hail to the panel. It's like a Vegas reunion. One of the best moments for me in 2022. Hail, Exode Ghoul. Quarter Black Gary, you and Chris spending some time with me. So awesome. Can't wait for more. Well, do we want to give a hint when Vegas is? Guys? A little sneaky hint.
Yeah. Don't even remember.
Don't remember?
I was so sick when I replied.
You just did a stupor, just like, oh, I don't know.
Late April.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I remember now.
Late April. I was going to do early June, but we're going to go with late April because I think it works. It's 6 months away from Orlando. It's 6 months, 7 months away, or maybe 5 months away from the UK. So and it's not too hot. Although it could be. Don't get me wrong. It could be 110 in April in Vegas. It could. But it's a good time to go. It's a good time to go. So and yeah, well, I have to talk to the Geeks and Gamers folks, see if I don't want to make the assumptions that they can make it. But that's what we're shooting for. So I will have a date for you very, very soon, so you guys can make your plans accordingly if you can make it.
I hope you do. I want to see you there.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. Same place. We're going to do it in the Millennium Fandom Bar. We got to just figure. We got to let them know. But they've said we're welcome back anytime, and they'll give us a place. So.
Yeah, those guys are great too.
Alex is fucking awesome. That was one good French dude right there. Knows what he's doing.
It's going back to what Chris was saying. Knowing the place that you're going to, giving them money.
Yes. Well, like absolutely knows what we do. Doesn't give a flying fuck. Backs us to the hilt. Like agrees with that. It's yeah. They're cool. The bar staff was brilliant. Good people, and they treated everybody nice. And that's why we go back.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up there. Get the rest in the square up, which I'm gonna be doing all week. Basically, what I'm doing all week. But yeah, Chris, once a month video documentary stuff. I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I can do that.
It was so, Gary, it was so well. It's because if you watch this video, it's a video essay where any question or any doubt I have, well, what about, and then you answer it right away. And you answer it with supporting material, whether you're showing something or a clip or whatever. It's just so well done. This is why these are blowing up and getting 1 million+ views. It's really important, this work. So I'm happy that it's now getting traction, right? Because this is something that someone can use and say, hey, this guy has a point here. Have you seen this guy Nerdrotic? Watch his video, right? Like now you've got backup, and it's backup with you show the problem, right?
Yeah.
You show it right there. Like
because a lot of the times when you have an issue like that and you go, well, I don't like this red flag I see, and they go, well, why do you do that? You're just guessing. You haven't seen it yet. And you go, well, all the things that I've seen before. And then you start to try and remember all of the reasons why, and you can't remember all the reasons. You go, I don't know. But if you watch this video, it lists all those reasons out for you. And it helps people be equipped with arguments on why these things are negative for the whole entire industry.
Yeah, and like, you know, it's not and I'm like, the thing I hear a lot from critics is we just complain, and that just proves they never watch our videos. And I mean Chris or Black and Jeremy and Ryan. And no, we tell you what's wrong, and we tell you how to make it better. And it's really fucking easy. Stop attacking your fans.
Yeah.
That will be a good place to start. Tom Cruise coming out and thanking you to see that movie. That is Tom Cruise acknowledging criticism of Hollywood. That's exactly what that is. And his motivation was to get the most people possible to his movie, and that's to make money. And I am completely okay with that. That's understandable. Babylon trying it. Babylon, you know, it's funny, is a movie I probably would have watched 10 years ago, 15 years ago in the theater. Probably would have gone, you know, kind of a Boogie Nights kind of thing, like it, you know. I'm waiting. I might check it out when it comes on. But honestly, Hollywood debauchery, this isn't the time for it. It just isn't the time for a movie about Hollywood debauchery, unless there's a lesson in it at the end, like, oh yeah, we really fucked ourselves.
Well, that's kind of the lesson. That is the lesson. It's you know, you'll see. Tobey Maguire is so good in the movie. Like, it's like, look, I know there's a whole discussion to be had about the final montage, but Tobey Maguire plays effectively a drug dealer in it, and he's unhinged, and it's hilarious. It's great. So I think
that was the one thing that got me interested. Was Toby?
Yeah, it was Toby.
It's worth seeing, at least for the discussion, and you know. So I don't want to say anymore. I didn't get the RRR tickets, by the way. I did not.
Oh, why not?
No. I refreshed at like 11:59. I didn't get whatever. I posted about it on social media. There's an overflow line. I'm just gonna go on Monday and just get there.
Pull your strings. You're Chris fucking Gore.
Yeah, come on, bro.
I don't want
to go up there and go, I am Chris motherfucking Gore. I have been the biggest fan of RRR on the planet.
Go there in your RRR shirt and your hat.
Being an RRR fan.
I'm gonna. There's an overflow line. I'm just gonna go get in line like everybody else. So I think
you should do a whole video like, don't you know who I am? I'll pull all that shit, but it'd be kind of funny, you know. Like have RRR like on a band-aid under your, like just put RRR everywhere.
I'll do it.
Pretend you have an RRR tattoo.
Yeah, on like a
I'll do that.
Put it right there,
right on your forehead.
All right, we got to wrap it up. It's 2 hours. Thanks everyone who left super chat and donation. Thanks to the Nerdrotics. Love you guys. So nice to be back live streaming. And Friday Night Tights with Dave Landau is next. I'll let you guys know about the winter stream tomorrow. I'm going to be working on square ups for the rest of the week. Thanks for supporting the video. It's done amazing. That's the second video in a month that had the YouTube boner. Well, I might share what the YouTube boner looks like.
It's a pretty good boner.
It's very erect.
Very erect.
It's what we like to see.
Yes,
I like to see.
So thank you. Chris, you got a stream coming up, right?
I got a stream coming up at top of the hour, 1 p.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. Eastern. Join me and Alan Ng. We're going to talk about Megan. We're going to talk about our picks for top films of 2022. Like you, Gary, I had a problem coming up with the top 10 list. There isn't a top 10. I have some honorable mentions and but the movies are sort of broken down by category, right? Like, you know, sort of best horror, best indie. But really, I've got like 5 movies this year that I think are worthy of top 10. I don't know. It's weird. It's a bizarre year. It's a very off year, and it should be a year where Hollywood should be learning some lessons.
Yeah,
it is.
I doubt that will happen.
No, they won't. They need to crash harder. Like something big needs to crash. And Warner Brothers was on top of the world in the mid 2000s. It had Harry Potter. It had Batman. Christopher Nolan's Batman. It was the studio, and now it's billions in debt. So, like, to think that Disney was going to be on top forever because they bought their way into the party is just insane. Absolutely insane. So now they're paying the piper. And, you know, I think it's great that they brought Iger back to face his own fucking demons. That's good. That is just. So good. Thanks, Chris. Please go check out his stream and go subscribe to Film Threat. Quarter Black.
Thank you, Gary.
Hey,
you're welcome, buddy. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, it's great to be back. It's great to be on the Nerdrotic team. Such a good fucking team we are. Toot our own horn. Tonight on my Rumble channel, I'm going to be streaming Alien Isolation. I'm playing through it. I think I'm like halfway through that game. It is terrifying. Legitimately, I scream because it is very scary. And we have a lot of fun. So on Rumble and locals over there. And that's what we're doing.
Awesome. X-Ray Girl, can you talk enough?
I can talk a little bit. Thank you for a wonderful campaign last month for the shirt. That was insane, really. Yeah, I have a YouTube channel, Extra Girl, Rumble Locals. I have a new shirt. I played with this idea because it was so good. Where the Force is not female.
Oh no, that's great.
So I got multiple colors. If you want to get that shirt. Oh no, the Force. There we go. So if you want, you can get that at flagranttriggers.com.
Oh my god.
I probably won't be streaming tonight, but I'll probably do at least 4 choices because it's not just my own channel. And then yeah, I'll be back as soon as I get better.
Get better. Okay.
Yeah.
Lady. I'll leave you alone for today. So again, thanks everyone. And yeah, we passed 666,000 subscribers.
Hell yeah.
Which is crazy. This is all nuts, man. I don't get it. I don't understand YouTube. Never will. Not even gonna fucking bother trying. So please check out our friends across the sphere. And again, don't forget to watch Chris in about an hour. And we'll see you next Wednesday.
Hey everyone.
See ya.